And the way to make sustainable change happen long term, it's essential that we have the therapeutic element here. Welcome back to the channel. Happy to have you here. My name is Conor. I am an IFS-trained life coach, and I was trained in IFS about 10 years ago, and I've been doing IFS ever since. Love this stuff, super passionate about it. And today we're going to be talking about what is the difference between IFS therapy and IFS coaching. And I'm going to kind of bring in a few different ideas or topics and primarily discuss what I do in the IFS coaching world and perhaps bring a better understanding to therapy versus coaching and how I see that they can actually work together symbiotically. And currently, I don't see that happening very often. An IFS therapist, at least in the United States, in order to call yourself a therapist, you have to have a license based on your schooling, and then you have to apply for licensure as a therapist. That's not something that I've done. I have a history degree and no interest in pursuing a therapy license. So I was trained by the IFS Institute. I think I was the only non-therapist at that particular training. I know at this point there are many other practitioners who are not licensed therapists who are practicing IFS. But the distinction from a legal perspective is I might be doing the exact same thing, in my own way, of course, as a therapist who was trained in IFS, but I am calling myself an IFS-trained life coach because legally that's how I need to define myself. So if you're looking for an IFS practitioner and someone is saying I am an IFS coach, it may be that they do the exact same or very, very similar work as a therapist, but do not have the same educational background through schooling, and they wouldn't have that therapy licensure. The other possibility is that they do have those things, but they're referring to themselves as a coach so that they can work outside of their state, because each state requires you to have the licensure requirements of a therapist. And in order for a therapist, say in Colorado, to be able to work with, say, me in Texas, it's easier for them from a legal perspective to just say, in this context, I am a coach, rather than I'm a therapist, because there can be some legal issues there. Okay, so that's kind of just like the legal breakdown perspective on this stuff. Now I want to talk about the actual distinction between therapy and coaching. So based on what I just said, it's possible that you could find a coach that's actually doing therapy, but is not a licensed therapist. And this is something that I have done for the last 10 years. I still work in the IFS therapeutic model, following the protocols with individuals. And I love that work, and it's fantastic and great. But most coaches are going to be working in the concepts of future. What do you want to do in this life? What kind of goals do you want to target? And how can I, as the coach, help you succeed in getting those goals? And that should include what has kept you from those goals. So like what challenges are here preventing. It should also include vision. It should also include clarity. Why do you want those goals? And then carving out the path towards achieving those goals. And generally, a coach is going to be helping you do that. Now, there are thousands, maybe infinite types of coaching, niche coaching, but this is like in general. Coaches are concerned with and are skilled, hopefully, at helping people get from point A to point B. And again, this has to do very much with creating a future. Therapy, on the other hand, is more to do with the past than the future. And while working on the internal, that's definitely going to affect the future. And we might have parts of us that come into a therapy session with a concern about the future. But most of the time, a therapist is going to be looking at what kind of created that fear about the future, or what created certain challenges, or finding traumas either in the body or in memory. And these all have to do with the past. And many times therapy is about updating bringing the past into the present, where for most people the present is a much safer place to be than some of the memories that we have, some of the experiences that we had when we were younger. So both things are really fantastic, absolutely, and they're different. And in a way, I have felt that they are even at times a bit polarized. And so this brings me to the final context of this video. I have been doing IFS as a therapeutic modality for over 10 years, and I've also been doing life coaching for over 10 years. And over the past 3, maybe 4 years, I have created a methodology to combine the two. And the reason for this is that I have found that generally in coaching, what is missing is the therapeutic component. And generally in therapy, what is missing is how to bring all that beautiful internal work that you've been doing into the present and how to apply it today so that we can create the future that we really want. So this IFS coaching, what I call the self-leadership coaching method, is the combination of both things. And it's also based in IFS. So the underlying foundation of self-leadership coaching is about developing self-leadership. It's about bringing more self online. And it combines future thinking, visioning, goal setting, how to go after those things, how to clear a path to get those things, why do we want those things in the first place, all of that good stuff that a good life coach should be helping you do. But it also brings in the therapeutic element of IFS, because this is absolutely essential. When we're setting up goals that we have not yet accomplished, most of the time it's because there are parts of us that fear that goal or they don't want that goal. There's some kind of resistance happening. And most often what happens in a life coaching container is that a client is going to run up against a challenge. And life coaches in general are going to be encouraging through motivation the use of willpower. Just get it done. You can do it. Come on, let's go. And the problem with willpower is that it doesn't last very long. And so while the change might be able to take place during the container, is it actually sustainable change? Is it going to work long term? And the way to make sustainable change happen long term, and there's lots of different ways to do this, but it's essential that we have the therapeutic element here so that we can take care of all of the different parts who need to be involved in, at least in some degree, in the accomplishment of this goal. And so my hope is that while only therapy is fantastic and only life coaching is fantastic, it may be better to serve yourself with the combination of both and to not have this done by two different people who are operating two different systems, but rather by someone who can hold both things at the same time. And so that's what my education program is all about. It's called the Self-Leadership Coaching Training. And if this is of interest to you, if you have been interested in coaching, or if you're a therapist who is interested in getting more into coaching, or if you are a coach interested in developing more of a therapeutic practice within your coaching, because for me, this is what the next level looks like in terms of offering something to clients. It's also something that can be combined with any niche that you're interested in as a coach. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the link in my description box down below. But for everyone else, my encouragement would be to understand the distinction that currently exists between coaching and therapy, and to really know what you are getting into and why. In addition, if you are interested in the combination of the two, then I would be looking for a person who has been certified through my educational program, and they would be referred to as a self-leadership coach, certified by me. And that means that they have gone through this very experiential program which combines, in my mind, the best of both worlds. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you have impact, positive impact. If you're going to be spending money and spending time with another human being who is supposed to hold this space for you and help you and move things with you, then you really want to feel the positive impact at the end. And to me, this is the way. Like, this is the way to have the most impact in a positive way possible. And it's not for everybody. There might be a time in your life when you really just need therapy. Absolutely no question about it. I believe that. And there might be a time in your life when you don't really want to focus on any of that. You just want to set up some goals. You want to be motivated and you want to go after those. But at some point, I do think that you will find in your life a space where the combination would serve you best. So yes, in a part, this is a video that I am using to promote my educational program. But I'm also wanting to leave you with the understanding of these different practices and what I see as a real missing component, which is the bridge between the two, how to combine both things. And I really want to advocate that, not just for people to sign up for my program, but also for people to really consider that in their choosing of a practitioner. Can they hold both spaces? Would I like them to? And if so, go after that. Thanks for watching. All the best to you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.